Blackbeard's early years lie beneath a thick fog of mystery, where truth and legend blend so closely that few can tell where one ends and the other begins. Some say his real name was Edward Thatch, a young sailor who left the English port of Bristol to chase a life on distant waves. Others claim he once fought with a blade in hand during the War of the Spanish Succession, only to be cast adrift when the cannons fell silent, thrown back into the Caribbean just as the golden age of piracy was beginning its slow fade. With no path left to walk, Thatch made his way to Nassau, a place whispered about as a haven for men who had lost everything. There, he took on a new name, Blackbeard, and stepped fully into the life of an outlaw. In the spring of 1717, fate placed him under the command of Captain Ben Hornigold as his second-in-command. Together, they ravaged the American East Coast, capturing 8 merchant ships in a swift and ruthless campaign. By summer, Blackbeard crossed paths with StedeBonnet, the gentleman pirate, and soon took command of Bonnet's ship, the Revenge. From there, Blackbeard returned to unleash terror upon the American colonies once again. In just 3 weeks, he captured 15 ships, so feared that a puff of smoke from his rigging was enough to make sailors freeze and surrender. Fear was his sharpest weapon, quick, clean, and effective. Yet history records no proof that he ever tortured or murdered those he captured. When autumn arrived, he steered his fleet toward the Windward Islands. Off the coast of St. Vincent, Blackbeard seized La Concorde, a French ship carrying 500 enslaved Africans bound for sugar plantations. Some chose to join his crew, the rest he set ashore. Blackbeard transformed the ship, mounting 40 guns and renaming her Queen Anne's Revenge, one of the most formidable warships to ever haunt the Caribbean. With 4 ships and 250 men at his back, he swept through the West Indies like a storm, plundering and burning ships, even striking the French colony of Guadeloupe. Then he pushed westward. In the Gulf of Mexico, Blackbeard struck Spanish shipping with such ferocity that he earned a new name, El Gran Diablo, the Great Devil. But despite their many victories, the crew's spirits began to wither. They hadn't laid hands on a true treasure in months. They wanted gold, something worthy of their daring. So Blackbeard steered toward the coast of Florida, where the Spanish treasure fleet had sunk 3 years before. His men combed through the rotting wrecks, but the easy riches had long been taken. Empty-handed, they continued north to Charleston, South Carolina. There, Blackbeard made the boldest move of his life. He blockaded the entire harbor for 6 days, stopping every ship, seizing cargo and taking hostages, throwing the city into chaos. Sailing onward along the coast, he slipped into Topsail Inlet, searching for a hideout. But fate turned against him. His flagship Queen Anne's Revenge ran aground and sank. StedeBonnet parted ways with him soon after, only to be hanged 4 months later in Charleston. Blackbeard abandoned part of his crew on a desolate island and sailed with his most loyal men to Bath, North Carolina, where he secured a royal pardon under a colonial amnesty for pirates. He set up a new base on Ocracoke Island, but old habits die hard. It wasn't long before he returned to sea, capturing 2 French ships. He claimed the 180 barrels of sugar they carried came from an abandoned wreck, yet almost no one believed him. Alexander Spotswood, the lieutenant governor of Virginia, decided the time had come to end Blackbeard once and for all. Ignoring colonial law, he dispatched a naval force to North Carolina with a single order: bring him back dead or alive. Lieutenant Maynard of the Royal Navy and 60 men caught Blackbeard off guard at Ocracoke. Outnumbered 3-1, the pirate fought with fearless skill to the very end. When he finally fell beneath the blade of one of Maynard's men, his body was found bearing 20 sword wounds and 5 gunshots. His head was cut off and hung from the bow of the Navy sloop, a grim testament that Blackbeard's reign was over. Blackbeard's rule of terror lasted less than 2 years, yet in that short span, he plundered around 40 ships, and it was the way he wielded fear, calculated, deliberate, that forged a legend powerful enough to survive centuries. Blackbeard may have died, but his legend did not. In just 2 short years, he carved his name into history as the final shadow of the Pirate Age. But the story doesn't end here, because after Blackbeard fell, The Caribbean did not grow quiet. New leaders rose, deadlier hunts began, and the ocean prepared for an even darker chapter. If you want to follow the full saga of the golden age of piracy, the outlaws, the sea battles, the empires fighting for control, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you won't miss what comes next. Blackbeard was only the beginning, and the next chapter will be wilder than you imagine.